DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you. DOJ may be releasing.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. She said she was going to release that stuff, and Trump said it was all going to get released day one. Every day past day one, I sit here scratching my head going, what's going on? I heard day one. And every day that passes that they don't just release it, I'm not reading an article to you right now about the Epstein client list and who was on the island, the less likely or the less inclined to believe that it's going to happen I am. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the holdup is. I thought these were the people that were like, we don't care who this implicates. We just want to get it out. And in fact, the more people that get implicated, the better. So, I don't know. I don't know, folks. It's sad and scary, but if you saw the title of today's story, FBI destroys Epstein evidence, I guess there's been a whistleblower within the FBI that's saying they're going through and deleting, but Epstein, the case has been going on a very, very, very long time. I would imagine some of the files are hard copies. Wouldn't you agree, Chad? Some of the stuff has got to be paper documents.
You would think, but that's the thing. It's the FBI, and the government does everything like hard files, I swear, anymore. Think of how all of our documents have to be, hard copies. If you don't have a hard copy of this, it means nothing to me,
Yeah, it's not like these private businesses like we have here at our office where everything's done electronically. They don't even want you to sign documents for your paper with physical paper anymore. They do it all online. They're like, we're gonna the new stuff that the new businesses I'm writing. It's like they're gonna send you a text, and if I can't say go to your policy until you've pressed the okay, I agree to e-sign this through your text message thing. So, that's the future. But again, I don't know. And again, it's hard to say. It's like whistleblowers could be exaggerating. But at the same time, it's like if they are burning or deleting files, just to spite the Trump administration, gosh, we have some vindictive, evil people in the government who would rather protect celebrities and millionaires and billionaires just to spite Donald Trump than to give people some closure and give the public an understanding of who's implicated in this and what and how bad it is. It's scary the level of vindictiveness that people can have when it comes to Donald Trump and it comes to the Republican Party right now. I want bad people exposed. And apparently they want to keep their cushy jobs and not be audited or be, basically told, give us 5 bulletin points of what you do. Yeah. I guess that's going to be the one that I burned a bunch of files related to Epstein. That's one of their bulletin points, I guess.
Yeah, and the big thing behind this is that I believe, and nobody's really talking about, is if they have this much, if Epstein was, which I'm a believer that Epstein was part of, or at least somehow contracted through the CIA, FBI, these types of organizations, to get leverage on people, because what is the CIA and FBI's job? It's to get leverage on people.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate form of leverage.
Yeah.
And this is something that, again, once you get into that position, you're like, do we really want to give up this leverage that we have?
Yeah, and again, it's like if you ever saw the movie Snowden, which Snowden is not an accurate movie, but again, whenever he's with Timothy Oliphant and they're like with that, I can't remember whatever foreign minister they're with, and they get him drunk, and then Timothy Oliphant gets him, okay, I get in the car, go home. He goes and, and Snowden's character is like, we shouldn't do this. He's really drunk. And he goes, dude, this is the job. Shut up. He goes, are you, I don't care if you're in or out. This is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and Snowden's like, I have a conscience. I'm a good person. It's like, but that guy is like going, this is what the CIA does. This is what our job is. Like, we're going to be like, hey, I made a phone call and you're not going to go to jail. But anytime I give you a call, you got to answer.
Yeah, you got to pick up the phone. Yeah, but here is what we have. Here's the article. FBI deleting evidence linked to Jeffrey Epstein. New whistleblower claim. A whistleblower has come forward with allegations that the Federal Bureau of Investigation systematically deleted evidence tied to the high-profile case related to Jeffrey Epstein. The allegations are aired by podcaster Benny Johnson. This comes after Trump administration began reviewing Epstein files before their release. An alleged whistleblower alleged that, like how they use alleged twice in there, that the FBI systematically deleted massive amounts of evidence tied to the highly profiled case related to Jeffrey Epstein and internal operations against American citizens. The alleged move was aimed at obstructing investigations led by the FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino. I said his name right?
Dan Bongino?
Yeah, Dan Bongino, okay. And then accusations aired by podcaster Benny Johnson. FBI has not issued any comment on the allegations. President Trump had promised to release highly classified files related to the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as well as classified documents tied to the disgraced financier, trafficked sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has taken action to make JFK and RFK files public, but has not done so for the Epstein files. On Friday, the Attorney General Pam Bondi said that she was reviewing the Epstein files herself and not yet has seen major revelations from the closely guarded documents. It's sitting on my desk right now, as we saw in that little clip earlier. It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by the president. I am reviewing that, Bondi told Fox News. Jeffrey Epstein, who has links to many high-influential people, died by suicide in New York Metropolitan Correction Center on August 2019 while in federal custody awaiting trial for the sex trafficking charges. Since Epstein's death, the FBI has released many documents on its investigations into him, but his so-called client list has remained under wraps. Many lawmakers on the Hill have called Bondi to release the Epstein client list, including Reps Tim Burchett, Anna Paulina Luna, and Senator Mike Lee. Get the latest news live on the Times breaking of. Yeah, this is just them.
Yeah,
marketing themselves. Okay, but that's it. I mean, this is crazy. Why hasn't the stuff been released yet? They said day one. Again, here we are. It's day like 3 or 4 now. I think we're day 4 or 5 at this point.
Yeah, since
and we're still waiting.
Got in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, folks. Again, I'm not holding my breath. I don't know if they actually are going to release this. And again, if the FBI is burning stuff, I'm guessing they're burning stuff that's related to the CIA and the FBI's level of involvement in this particular operation, or burning things that show how long the FBI had been tracking this or had known about this. So I don't know. And it's strange that they waited till now to do this. I mean, if they had all this information, why didn't they delete it sooner? But again, I guess they were under no real threat of anything like this being exposed. Yeah. And again, there's so many questions about the whole Epstein case. It's like my biggest concern is like, why did the Ghislaine Maxwell get off scot-free? Like, isn't she out of jail?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up real quick. You go ahead and keep talking, but I'll try looking that up real quick.
But yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely wild that, it's like, why now? I guess it's because they are actually under fear of being exposed now. But, I don't think a couple of low-level drones within the FBI are going to be ones caught up in this implication. I guess whoever wrote the memo or the document, I guess they could be the ones that get in a lot of trouble for it. Or, maybe they're so well connected that they go, I'll be on a hit or kill list if somebody sees my name on this thing that I wrote about this person from the FBI who was involved. So I don't know. I don't know the level of corruption that goes on. I mean, clearly something's gone on. And maybe the orders are coming from Kash Patel. Maybe, they didn't ever have any, what would you say? Maybe they had no reason to get this thing out there, and they're just saying from the very top, going, yeah, just get whatever implicates the government, But I doubt it. Kash Patel seems like a straight shooter, but then again, people in politics, they all seem like they're straight shooters until they're not,
Yeah. Everyone swears they're going to do what they say they're going to do until they get the job, and they're like, I'm good now.
But like I said, it's in the case of like Donald Trump in his first 4 years. There were people actively working against him that were pretending to be his friends and were pretending to work with him,
Yeah, if that's also the case with this Epstein stuff, who's to say that there aren't FBI agents that are trying to keep stuff under
Yeah, I mean,
wraps?
if you were afraid of losing your job, you'd suckle the power to your boss and be like, "Oh, yes, sir, I'm totally on your side." And it's like, and then it's like you build a certain level of trust with them, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you tell all your people and your staff, going, "This is what I want you to do. I want you to burn all the evidence. I've made him think that I'm his buddy, but you got to burn the evidence." You know, that's what we're dealing with here. I don't know. Again, this is why the deep state is such, like, again, when Democrats and people make fun of Republicans for talking about the deep state's not like this secret entity. It's just the government bloated bureaucracy of people who have other interests other than yours. You know, it's like the president wants to do one thing, and then, like General Milley goes, "Nope, I'm going to tell China all of our secrets if if Donald Trump decides to make a move in China or go on Taiwan, it's like, I'm going to tell them about this, and they'll be able to make plans accordingly."
Well, according to the last couple articles that I just read, it says that she's still in jail, supposedly. So, I mean, there's no other thing. I said, but the last articles about this are from September 17th of 2024.
Okay, good deal. Well, at least that. But I mean, is she going to be brought up on trial for all this? Is she going to take
she's already lost her cases on this. That's what they're saying. It was appeal to, try to get out again.
Yeah.
Is what I'm reading here. So, but again, these are from a year ago.
Yeah.
And like, was Epstein really, the old saying is, Epstein really killed or really commit suicide, or did somebody kill him, or body double type situation?
Yeah. Yep. There's a million things that could have happened. But yeah, I don't know, folks. It's just crazy, it's just absolutely crazy. And all we want, you, me, the average Joe, we just want to know what the truth is, what the heck's actually going on. I mean, and again, this is why I hate the political establishment, the political elites. They think that you're so dumb that if you knew, do they think our heads would explode if we found out? It's like no, they'd be like, oh, well, the average person would be like, I guess the second American Revolution's about to start because the government is so corrupt. It's like, we don't need you anymore. We'll go back to square one.
Yep.
Washington, Jefferson will only use the stuff that they were talking about in the Constitution. All these other laws are gone. Yep, government organizations out the window.
Yep. But as for next thing I have here are these memes. Like I said, and of course, this is where it came from. The sources, of course, Twitter and Benny Johnson. But a whistleblower has exposed the FBI begun to permanently erasing files that may be connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Where are the Epstein files? Pam Bondi stopped delaying. Pam Bondi and Cash Patel released the Epstein client list.
Yeah. I mean, we already know a good portion of the people on the list,
Mm-hmm.
But we just want to we want to see it confirmed again.
100%.
Did you want to play that? Is whatever that?
No, that's
was?
just the trailer for the Netflix documentary. Which, remember, the Netflix documentary is entirely biased because it tries to paint it as though it's all Trump. Like, it literally shows Trump more than any other politician.
Yeah, I remember that. I was watching the one about Epstein's Island like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was like going, and he met with Donald Trump for 15 minutes at Mar-a-Lago. It's like, was he ever on the plane? No, but he could have been. And Donald Trump, bad, because whoever made this documentary just had to tie it to Trump, Well,
remember, the Obamas are heavily tied with Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They had a bunch of series of documentaries and stuff that were laid out. So Netflix and the Obamas are like this. That's why, Netflix is one of the most politically biased streaming platforms there is because they made deals with the Obamas and Democratic allies.
Mm-hmm.
So just remember that. Like, even streaming platforms can have a political bias to them.
Yeah.
Next one here is Diddy kept all his parties and has kept all the videos of his parties. He has enough dirt to hang half of Hollywood. And again, this is what I'm talking about. I think Diddy's rise to fame is a little strange too.
Yeah. He's not even that good.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that Diddy is part of the CIA, again, like a plant. And then this is how they get all those actors to like
He's
be
CIA
a part.
funded FBI informant.
Yeah.
And again, it's like that's what it is. It's one of those things where it's like in Hollywood and in the government, no one actually trusts you unless they have dirt on you, unless they have leverage on you that they can use against you. It's like, I can guarantee you we can make this politician vote the way we want to vote.
Which again is why they don't like politicians don't like Christians, like actual faithful
devout
based
Christians. Yeah,
because they can't be bought.
yes, it can't be bought. Like I said, your soul is worth more than that. But again, I mean, but that's the problem though. It's like, you know, you get even the most devout of Christian can go out to Hollywood or can go out to you know, DC and get corrupted. You know, it's like, I mean, if all of a sudden, you know, you've been a loser your whole life, or not a loser, you know, like you could be a relatively successful dude who has a lovely wife and kids, and all of a sudden it's like FBI or CIA or some government organization gets a paid trollop to, you know, go out there and seduce you, and then you ruin your life and your career, and they go, look, this isn't going to come out as long as you start voting the way we want you to vote.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, deal.
Yep. This next one I have pulled up is from Liz Churchill. It says, wow. Senator Marsha Blackburn asked Kash Patel to release the unredacted Epstein flight names and island footage after claiming Democrats have blocked her from doing it for years.
Sweet.
So,
Go Marsha.
Yeah.
And I hope this is real, what Marsha's saying, and she's not just, you know, saying she said this for political clout right now. Because, again, that's another thing. You know, it's like, are people actually genuine about this? Or is it, you know, are they just jumping on this political bandwagon because it's a hot topic right now? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like that one thing with that. Do you remember that chick that was on the news? She goes, I had the Epstein case. She was that journalist. You know, she was like on CNN or MSNBC or something like that. And she was like, I had the case and they told me to sit on it because it's just not something that people are interested in. And she was like, she was like, I was so depressed. And now this is broke and I could have been the one that broke it.
Yeah, like 10
years
years ago.
Well, it's like, well, sweetie, all you had to do was just take it to an outlet that would go with it.
Yep.
You could have gone to Vice. You could have gone. I'm sure Vice back then would have eaten something like that up. Some startup, news outlet would have eaten that up. But you were too comfortable at your cushy job because you were getting paid probably $1 million a year to just look pretty and read the prompter. And when you actually did a little bit of journalism, they were like, "Whoa, easy there, honey. Like, this is stay in your wheelhouse. Your wheelhouse is to look good and report whatever we tell you whatever the prompter tells you to read, Ron Burgundy."
Yeah, exactly. This next one is Dan Bongino, and you can see Dan Bongino, however you say his name. Don't have a weird name if you don't want me to say it wrong.
Yeah.
But says, I worked with Hillary Clinton. She was evil. The stories agents have around her and have kept bottled up inside are horrendous. Working on her detail was generally considered punishment assignment. You will never meet a more mercenary and destructive public figure in your lifetime. She hates you, all of you.
The Clinton Foundation. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, and remember this, and like all these people, like have been saying that because Dan Bongino has been made like executive or assistant, like director of the FBI or whatever now, and that's when that broke that they were starting to delete those files. And all these people are saying Dan Bongino's not qualified to be a member, to be appointed to this because he's all these left-wing media figures like Harry Sisson and a bunch of these other kids like just posting he's not qualified. It's like he was in the CIA, he was in the FBI, and he was Secret Service. How's he not qualified?
He knows the job. He might not have done the admin side of the job, but he knows what the job is.
But I mean,
again, it's like it's saying, what's his name? Our new Pete Hegseth. He was just a major. That's not, dude. A major, like, they run stuff. Like majors are higher ranks in the army. Like, what are you talking about? The guy was a company commander. He led troops into battle, and then he was a major before he got out. Like, what do you mean he's not qualified? I mean, like the general ranks, like anything above colonel, it's political. Once you get that high, like you're running for office in the military. So again, what makes them unqualified? I mean, if anybody's unqualified, it's Harry Sisson and all these people who are saying that these guys are unqualified. It's like, why is your opinion, the opinion of like a 19-year-old kid, qualified? Like, what qualifies your opinion?
Yeah. And speaking of that, like, we have what's his name here? Old Eric Swalwell, who cheated on his wife with a Chinese spy while accusing Trump of colluding with Russia.
God, could you imagine this guy? Like, this guy thinks he's freaking James Bond. Like, he's like, I have a wife and a kids, but I banged a spy. It's like, dude, no, you didn't bang a spy. A spy pumped you for information. Like you're the victim of a female seductress spy. You're not James Bond, dude. You're a freaking loser.
Yep.
Like there's nothing cool about cheating on your wife.
Yep.
There's nothing cool about betraying your vows, It's like, but I guarantee you, he's like, dude, I'm James Bond, man. This is like, my life is just so cool right now. Like, pathetic, man. The guy's a loser.
All right, next one I have pulled up here is you sent me this. Says federal employees on their way to work to their very important jobs, and then it says, please reply with 5 things you did this week, and then they're like having like a depressing. Like coming to Jesus moment.
Again, because that's what this is. I mean, that Ken meme right there from Barbie is a perfect example of what government workers are. I get paid a large sum of money. I'm basically guaranteed to have this job. I can't get fired. I get paid a really decent salary with great benefits. So what is it? It basically, all these government workers, it's like playing Barbie. They're Ken. All they do is they dress up in really nice fancy clothes. They go to their job, pretend to work, just have fun in at their job or the Barbie playhouse, effectively doing nothing. And then whenever somebody goes, by the way, what did you do last week?
Yeah.
Give me 5 things that you did last week.
The fact that asking that simple question of give me 5 bullet points of things you did last week, and they are freaking out about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, either you can name 5 things you did at work last week, or you're just going to feign righteous indignation because you really don't know what the hell you're doing, and we are paying tons of people to do nothing, and they get, full benefits. It's like there are soldiers who probably have crappier benefits than these people who work at the government, at these cushy White House or government jobs in D.C.
This next one that you sent me, I found this very interesting, but much of the black middle class was built by federal jobs. That may change. For the last several decades, federal jobs helped black workers to find stable work with guardrails to prevent bias. But mass cuts are threatening that decades of upward mobility. So what you're saying is what they're honestly saying here, unfortunately, is like they're saying that black people couldn't survive without the federal government.
Yeah, how sad is that? Black women wouldn't be able to afford their lifestyles if it wasn't for the government. So you're saying that like black women are incapable of finding jobs outside of the government?
Yeah.
Like I mean that's crazy. I mean, college educated black women can't find any gainful employment outside of government jobs?
Yep.
Does that not strike anyone as pathetic, sad, and kind of suspect?
Yeah. I mean, even at the same, going back to this bulletin point things, like if you weren't able to tell your boss what you did last week at a corporate job, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's no such thing as like, oh, I didn't do much, I sat around, did nothing. But yeah, but this, I mean, this is just as bad. I mean, I think I even remember reading an article. I should try to go back and find it now because I forgot that you sent me this, but the fact that I think like single black women are the most likely hired by are the most consistent, I forget what it is, but racial demographic to be hired by federal government jobs.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that's exactly what this article is stating.
Yeah. Oh, so you read the full article then? Okay.
No, yeah, but I mean, this headline is true. Like, I mean, the headline right there is, it's like, it's telling you exactly what you're saying. It's confirming your suspicions. Like, I mean, college-educated black women primarily are employed through the federal government.
That's wild.
Why?
Wild. But yeah, but that's really all I have, man. Unless there's anything you wanted to close out on.
No. I mean, that's really about it. Today there's not a whole lot going on other than the fact that we want that file dropped. We want to know the Epstein flight logs, release the videos too. Let everyone see who these celebrities that we worship and these politicians who were in bed with Epstein. Let us see what's going on. Let us show the world what they did. It's like what we did yesterday. That we showed that video of that little girl and the mom getting, like, that immigrant walking into their house, dragging them both out, trying to, like, kidnap that little girl.
Yep.
Facebook and YouTube were like, You showed harmful and violent content. And it's like, look, either you're going to let us show the world what's happening, or you're going to protect the immigrants. And like I said, that's what they're doing. Like them banning that content isn't protecting the mother and daughter. It's protecting the migrants who are trying to hurt them and abuse them.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's true. And like, it's the same thing with like police, like hiding up certain, like how violent certain acts were when regarding like crime, especially when it comes to like murder. It's like, if you knew what this person actually did, you'd be calling for the death penalty on the spot. It's to like to prevent the death penalty.
They didn't just kill the person. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you know, the way they would have you describe it is, well, he had a gun, but he accidentally pulled the trigger and killed him. It's like, no, he tortured him for like 12 hours before he ended up finally cutting their head off. And you're like, what? Mm-hmm. Again, this is the world we live in. The criminals have more rights than the victims do. The victims' families don't matter. The victim's dead. Screw them. We got to worry about how the society is going to perceive the poor criminal. So, again, that's what's going on here. Again, we have a bass-ackwards society, and it's very sad. And but anyway, Cash and what's the chick's name?
Bondi.
Pam Bondi. Released the Epstein list. Released all the video footage. Same with the Diddy stuff. Put these people out in public, and I'm sure that they have a mountain of lawyers and all kinds of, like, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio's probably got an art because he owns an island and a hotel, like an eco hotel and all this stuff. Like, they're loaded. They have money, and they have more money than God. You know, so they have a legion of lawyers being like, no, you can't release that stuff. And I'm sure there's all kinds of legal loopholes.
Even like, I would even like settle for a compromise. Say we only do it for people that are United States citizens. Remember, we're not supposed to be playing spy games on United States citizens anyway.
Yep.
So I say do it for at least United States citizens. If you have dirt on, like, you know, some person well overseas, like, you know, like they say, like the prince, one of the princes or whatever,
Saudi Arabia or something.
Yeah. I was just saying, no, the one from England.
Yeah,
Because
Prince Charles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, if they have something like that, yeah, okay, maybe we'll hold off on those so you can keep that dirt, you know, and we have something over. But I mean, at least do all the American stuff so that we can be like, okay, well, let's know
So
who in our ranks
filed criminal charges against them for doing that. You know what I mean? And they'll have a good case to be like, look, I didn't know that they were underage. They'll have a good case. We're not saying they're not going to get a defense, but we need to know. We want to know. Cash, Pam, get this crap released. Release all of it. Let the world know. Let us see the evil that, I guess, the FBI and the U.S. government sanctioned or allowed. So, but yeah, that's about all I've got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. That is all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too, and it has the same effect.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white